Lastly, we need to cover combinations. And this is an arrangement of objects which order is not important. So remember before, they always gave us a specific order that things needed to go in. This one, the order is not important. But again, on your test, you will not have to know the difference between a permutation and combination. You will be given a section with permutation. It will clearly say permutation. And then you will be given a section with combination. It will clearly say combination. So you will not have to remember which is which. And you will also be given all of these formulas for your test as well. So we have N, C, R. And N factorial over N minus R factorial R factorial. And your N is still your whole or total objects. And R is still your part or sample objects. Okay, so it says for her birthday, Monica invited 6 of her 20 friends to join her at a theme park. If she chooses to invite friends at random, what is the probability her friends, Tessa, and anyway, all those 6 friends. So if you notice, it doesn't say Tessa has to be chosen first, she just needs to be one of the 6. So that is what makes this a combination. So on your N is your total, which is your 20, and your R is your part, which is your 6. So we have 20 factorial over 20 minus 6 factorial and 6 factorial, which is 20 minus 6 is 14 factorial and 6 factorial, 20 factorial. So we're going to put 20 out until it gets to 14 factorial, and then we're going to write the 6 out, 6 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and cancel from there. So we have 20 times 19 times 18 times 17 times 16 times 15 times 14 factorial. All over. 6 times 4, sorry, times 5. I forgot a number. I know how to count. 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 14 factorial. So again, if you kind of lost where everything went, 14 is right here. And 6 is all of this. Okay, so the 14 factorial cancels with the 14 factorial. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 3 is 18. The 1 cancels by itself. And if we divide 16 by 2, we get 8 left over. So in our calculator, we're just going to do 19 times 17 times 8 times 15. 19 times 17 times 8 times 15. Which is 38,760. So our answer will be 1 over 38,760. Which is in decimal. Okay, to the -5. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 will round up to 3 because of the 5 after it. And that is 0.003%. And again, you can do that math in your calculator if you need to turn this decimal into a percent. You just do times 100, and it would give you the 0.00 and then 2 rounded to the 3%. Okay. A set of alphabet magnets are placed in a bag. If 5 magnets are drawn from the bag at random, what is the probability that they will be the letters A, E, I, O, and U? So, of course, in the alphabet, there are 26 total, so N is 26. And we are drawing a sample of 5 out of the bag. So that's 26 factorial over 26 minus 5 factorial times 5 factorial, which is 20. Oh, that's the same thing. 26 minus 5 is 21. So this is 21 factorial times 5 factorial. So that's 26 times 25 times 24 times 23 times 22 times 21 factorial. All over 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 21 factorial. The 21 factorial is now here, and then the 5 factorial is all of this. So that's where that stuff went. 21 factorial will cancel with 21 factorial. Let me see. 4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. Cancel your 1. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So that's 26 times 5 times 23 times 22. 26 times 5 times 23 times 22. 65,780. So 1 over 65,780. When divided by, something you can do instead of retyping this all over, if you look right above this negative, it says ANS. That means the previous answer. So if you hit second, that, you don't have to type in all those numbers. So now it will be 1 over this previous answer. So that is 0.1234 zeros, and that 1 will be rounded to a 2. So in percents times 100, 0.002%. You need to round until you get to the first number that is not 0 on your decimals. So usually it's to 4 decimal places, but if it takes 5 decimal places to get to your first number that is not a 0, round to 5. Tony is promoting his band's first concert. He contacts 10 local radio stations. If 4 of them agree to interview him on the air, what is the probability that they're the top 4 stations in the area? So we have N is 10 and R is 4. 10 minus 4 factorial times 4 factorial and 10 factorial on top. That is 6 factorial times 4 factorial. So that means that we will do 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 factorial all over 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 6 factorial. Those cancel. 1 cancels. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So in your calculator, 10 times 3 times 7. 210. So it's 1 over 210. Second negative. 0.0048. That 7 will go up because of the 6 after, which is 0.48%. Next, we're going to do more than one combination, so sometimes you will need to use two sets. Where's my dot? There it is. Two sets of combinations to solve a problem. If you are given two sets of data, you will need to compare two combinations. So there are 4 boys and 8 girls on a debate team. The coach randomly chooses 3 of the students to participate, so 3 of them. What is the probability the coach chooses all girls? So the first thing we're going to have to do is figure out choosing 3 students out of the total of 8 girls. So just the 3 students of 8 girls. My N will be the 8 girls. My R will be the 3 chosen. So it'll be 8 minus 3 factorial, 3 factorial, 8 factorial on top. So 5 factorial, 3 factorial within 8 factorial on top. So that's 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. And 3 times 2 times 1 times 5 factorial. The 5 factorials cancel, 1 cancels, 3 times 2 is 6. So it's just 8 times 7, which is 56, right? Yes. Okay, so then that is the probability of choosing a girl, or how many possibilities there are of choosing a girl. Now we've got to find all the possibilities of choosing out of all of the students. So out of all the students, there are 12 total students. And we're going to choose 3 out of those students. So that's 12 minus 3 factorial, 3 factorial, with 12 factorial on top. So 9 factorial and 3 factorial with 12 factorial on top. So that's 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 factorial. 3 times 2 times 1 times 9 factorial. 12 divided by 3 times 2, which is 6. So 12 divided by 6 is 2. So 2 times 11 times 10. That is 220. So the 56 is the possibilities that you could choose a girl. The bottom is the possibilities that you could choose any student from those 3 chosen. So we need to put those on top of each other, and those will be our probability. So 56 divided by 220. This is a totally separate problem. Is 0.2545 or 25.45%. Math, enter, 14 over 55. So these are your answers. Alright, so the next one, 4 cards are randomly drawn from a standard deck. If they are all red, which means diamonds or hearts, what is the probability that they're all the same suit? All red and then same suit. So what we have to do for this one is drawing 4 out of all red cards. In other words, they're not giving a whole deck 52. We're only choosing 4 out of just the reds. And since the reds are diamonds and hearts, there are a total of 26. So the first thing that we're going to do, so this is out of 26. And then if it's all the same suit in one suit, in just hearts, there are 13. Or in just diamonds, there are 13. So one will be our N for just the same suit, and one will be our N for all reds. And we're going to take 4 out of both of those. So first we're going to do the same suit, which is a 13. So our N will be 13, and our R will be 4. That's 13 minus 4 factorial times 4 factorial, with 13 factorial on top, which is 9 factorial, 4 factorial, 13 factorial on top. So 13 times 12 times 10 times 9 factorial. I forgot 11. Wow. 13 times 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 factorial. 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 9 factorial. Those cancel. 1 cancels. 4 times 3 is 12. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 13 times 11 times 5. $715. There's 715 possibilities of doing it that way, of just one suit. Now, out of all the reds, that means that N is 24 and R is 4. 24 minus 4 factorial over 4 factorial. 24 factorial, that's 20 factorial, 4 factorial over all under 24 factorial. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20 factorial. All over. 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 20 factorial. The 20s cancel. 1 cancels. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. So we just have 23 times 22 times 21. $10,626. So that is our bottom number. Our top number will be the 715 we found before. So 715 divided by, instead of entering that, I'm doing second and the negative. That is 0.0673, which is 6.73%, which is, math, enter, 65 over 966. Okay, lastly, there are 5 Spanish teachers and 4 French teachers. The school's principal randomly chooses 2 of the teachers to attend a conference. What is the probability that the principal chooses 2 Spanish teachers only? So first we have to find the probability of just picking 2 out of the 5 Spanish teachers, and then 2 out of the 5 total teachers. So my N will be 5 Spanish. And then my R will be 2. 5 minus 2 factorial over 5 factorial. 3 factorial, 2 factorial, 5 factorial on top. 5 times 4 times 3 factorial. 2 times 1 times 3 factorial. Those cancel. 1 cancels. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so 5 times 2 is 10. There are 10 possibilities that way. Alright, now it's choosing 2 out of all of the teachers. So all of the teachers is 5 plus 4, which is 9, and we're choosing 2 of those. So that is 9 minus 2 factorial, 2 factorial. 9 factorial, which is 9 times 8 times 7 factorial, because 9 minus 2 is 7. Sorry, I kind of skipped that part. Over 2 times 1 times 7 factorial. Those cancel. 1 cancels. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 9 times 4, which is 36. So our final answer will be 10 over 36, which is 0.2778, because the 7 after it will round it to 8, which is 27.78%, which is math, enter, 5/18. And again, if you need more help on this, feel free to rewatch it. Rewatch the same problem over and over again until you finally get the hang of it. We only have tutoring after school this week. So if you really need to see me, I suggest you come in the morning. I usually get here at about 6:30. And I'm more than willing to help you. This is the hardest part, but this will be the last test you have to take, and I will be dropping your lowest 3 tests. So I wouldn't be stressing too terribly much, although this is on your final.